Interesting. Well, the singles, what is beautiful, they have no beginning and no end. It's a circle, and they're encircling the old town. And the old town has always been a dense city, and it also has been a city which never had a city square. And therefore, I think the singles in itself, they could fulfill the kind of lack of having the town square and becoming the new way of bringing the city back together in a kind of new emblem, in a new thing. So, and intriguingly about the singles is that they never had a grand plan so far. So they are piecemeal. There are fantastic, beautiful areas like the Plantsoen or the Hortus, the Sterrenwacht, and there are those old industrial areas. So what you got is the beauty and the beast. And I like that very much. I call it, on one hand, that you have Arcadian software and you got industrial hardware. And both should be emphasized and enhanced. So the romantic should become more romantic and more about contemplation and relaxation. And the industrial hardware should all be areas for innovation and contemporary design and events. And this contrast, I think, it would be very, very beautiful in the future of the Singelpark. I think the thing of, well, basically what we've done for competitions, of course we make drawings and that was the exercise. We are architects, landscape architects. But we also made a book, and the book is actually like a storybook. It's full of stories stories derived from the locality of either Leiden, the singles, and the cultural history. And we like the idea of turning the city of Leiden inside out, that you use all your scientific and artistic and cultural institutions to manifest themselves in that single park. So it's a kind of cabinet of curiosities, or a gallery walk, or call it a laboratory of nature. But it's an idea, it's a vision that the park is a storyline through the past, the present and the future of the city of Leiden. It's quite a project more like a metaphor, but it's also allow many other peoples to participate. I often say that the single park should be created, not so much designed. Well, obviously there is a lack of cohesion, and that's the kind of first thing you have to do. Physically, you should be able to navigate the singles as an entity. And that should not be just one walkway, it should be an orbit of overlapping circuits, walkways, cycleways, and very important, waterways. So that the water itself becomes the means of transport to go from one project to another. Then I think what I mentioned before, curating, you could start an events program to put the attention on the singles as the project. And I think you should be quite opportunistic. There are certain things already taking place, like the transformation of the Llama Market. If that becomes a parking, underground parking, then that should become one of your first projects. So it should be incremental, built over a period of time in a strategic notion. Also, the project should not be seen in its isolation. The single is the inner ring, but it's also an outer ring, and we like that very much. So outside Leiden, you got the ring, the landscape ring. It's a more ecological fortification with the old estates and the Kagerplassen and the dunes. And those rings should be seen as how we call it, Russian dolls. It's like a ring in a ring in a ring. And then the smallest ring is the bird, and then you got the singles, then you got the outer ring, and then you got the Randstad. And so the project should be the beginning of thinking not just about the singles as a singular entity, but as a part of a new landscape framework which connects the old town and the new town. And where the single park is a transmitter between the city center and the periphery.